I'm going for a 5-mile easy run in my pegs, but today I'm talking about running philosophy. And when I'm talking about philosophy, I'm talking about the overall mindset towards running. That one sentence mantra you put in your head when you have 6 miles left in a marathon race. And in terms of sports philosophies, there's so many different types, from the Mamba mentality from Kobe to a bunch of different running ones, from David Goggins, staying hard, being the stick, to Nick Bear, if you want something enough, you're gonna make time for it, to Eric Floberg saying be about it. But the one that has it above all for me is Coach Bennett, or Chris Bennett, from the Nike Run Club. And what inspired this video is that I was rewatching Ted Lasso, and I came across a post on Reddit about his philosophies on life. And if you look at Coach Bennett's own type of philosophy guide, it's very similar. He even has the epic mustache to go along with the similarity. So today I'm going to talk about 5 lessons that I keep in mind from Chris Bennett, or Coach Bennett. And the first one is fitting because it's the start of the run, but Coach Bennett always praises start easy. Your slowest miles should be the very first mile of your run every time. And that's what I try to embody. And if I usually fail in that goal, it's usually not a very good run or a very good feeling run, as it's sunny and raining right now in Miami. But yeah, if you ever listen to a guided run on the Nike Run Club app, Coach Bennett always says start easy, because most of the time we're not doing a dynamic warm-up. So starting easy is the best way to get your body acclimated from sitting down or just standing to getting that heart rate up. And this next one is possibly my favorite because it intertwines with everything. And this is about running and this is not about running. Because even the first one, start easy, that applies to doing a zone 2 heart rate run. But what if you wanna, get good at math? You start easy. So many things in life that you wanna get good at and become an expert eventually, you start easy. You wanna start going to the gym? Start going 2-3 times a week instead of going like 5-6 times a week and going to the max right away. But it applies to so much more. In one of the latest Coach Bennett podcast episodes, he defines patience, and he loves bringing out the dictionary, just like he loves talking about 1984 music. He defines patience as a quiet, steady, courageous spirit. And you could apply that to running. Like, let's say you're training for a marathon and endurance takes like sometimes 2-3 months to start to kick in. You need a quiet, steady, courageous spirit for that. But also if you're, for me, I'm about to go job hunting. I need to have patience in that so I can find my ideal job to set me up later down the road. So this is about running and this is not about running. And this is also just talking about how the benefits of running, relieving stress, making your body feel good, growing body confidence, that applies to so many things outside of running. And then outside of running, whether you play a sport like pickleball, that helps the different muscle fibers so that when you run, you're actually stronger. It kind of relates like strength training to running as well. And before I go to the third one, as I'm sweating a waterfall, because it's summer in Florida, a peninsula, a tropical one at that, so hot. Running next to the cows, enjoying the scenery, because that is something Coach Bennett preaches. But he also preaches to be a run nerd. Become a fan of the sport of running. And the Olympics this year, the Olympic trials, is like the epitome of that. But now I'm excited to watch Connor Mans and Clayton Young and Tamara Tola run in New York later this year. And things like that. Not only can you learn from them, but it gives you inspiration to go out and run and achieve, honestly, your peak. At least it does for me. And before I go on to number 4, I do want to talk about where I'm extracting all these Coach Bennett wisdom points. Well, he has the podcast, which I already mentioned. He uploads weekly. He has the Nike Run Club guided runs, which I do sometimes. He also has a newsletter. He's on Strava. He shows up to Run Club sometimes. So this is not an ad for him, but he does show up in many places if you want to hear more about him. The number 4 thing is that you have to measure success every single way you can, because running PRs aren't going to happen every single week. They're not going to happen every single year. Especially once you get past the age of like 40, 50, the amount of running PRs you're gonna get is gonna diminish dramatically. So it's very important to see success wherever you can, whether that's congratulating yourself for running 5 times in a week for, 10 weeks straight, Or for me, I get super hyped whenever I get like a new bench PR at the gym. So measure success any way you can, whether that's by time, distance, a new place that you ran, you joined a run club. Any way you can measure success, that's to your benefit. That's what he preaches. And the fifth one is every finish line is a starting line in disguise. And this one, like all of Coach Bennett's philosophy points, this one's nuanced. And this can be taken from running. If you're in like a 15-week marathon block that you're grinding away, building up to your first marathon, you complete it, then the next week you feel marathon blues. Why? Because you're not being intentional towards the goal. But that's perfectly okay, because when you completed that marathon finish line, it's the starting line to another possible goal that you can set for yourself. And if you want to bring this to life, because this is about running and this is not about running, I'm about to finish college. Graduation to me is the finish line, but it's also the starting line of post-grad life. So when you see a finish line as a starting line, it can be beneficial to help those post-marathon blues and for you to bounce back quickly. And that last point is every run has a purpose is very similar to knowing you're running why. Why do you run? Why do you get up early in the morning? Why do you grind out all these miles? What is it? And every run has a purpose is very similar and akin to that. And if I had to disagree with Coach Bennett anywhere in his philosophy, it's kind of the same argument you could have against Ted Lasso, and that's his relentless positivity. Sometimes that's great, and sometimes it's great to hear about preaching about rest days and being kind to yourself and not being an idiot. But sometimes you do need to go into a pain cave and just grind a run out, because when you hit that wall in the marathon, that's sort of the mentality shift you kind of need. And that's it for the run, 9.14 kilometers. That's not miles. Today was a little lighter on the mileage because ayer was gym day for las piernas, so I needed a little bit of a recovery run. But yeah, I think it was my first ever video where I'm like recording most of the video while running other than a race video. I wanted to see how this would go, and yeah, that's it for me.